It's about that time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of City Views. We want to thank the sponsor of City Views, Toth Insurance Agency, located at 1151 East Main Street. Better protection, better value. On today's show, ladies and gentlemen, we are so very happy to bring to you the new executive director of the Warner Theater. This gentleman has brought so much energy and intellect to the arts community here in Torrington and the region, and we're so proud to be able to have him share some words with you today on our show. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you Rufus de Rham. Good morning, Rufus.
Good morning. Glad to be back on City Views. I have to admit that the City Views theme song has been stuck in my head for the last week. So you know it's a hit when your jingle can't get out of your head.
Yeah, I have a lot of sleepless nights over that too.
Yeah. It was like 2 a.m. last night, and I was doom scrolling through Twitter, seeing what was going on in the world, and then City Views.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
Rufus, there's so much to talk about, so many questions that I have for you today, and I'm awaiting the opportunity for you to share some of your observations with our audience, because one of the things that I think makes your story somewhat unique and special is the fact that you bring a lot to the table, but one of the things that we as an arts community was very keen on was making sure that we were getting contributions from the young people in our community. And you have definitely set that effort in motion. And would you mind sharing with us some of your insights on the arts and why your passion burns so hot for the discipline?
Yeah, I mean, I think arts are an essential human right. I mean, this is the oldest form of community, is storytelling around the campfire, is song and music, and this is how we tell our stories and create empathy between us and pass on knowledge from generation to generation. I mean, it's fundamental to who we are as a species, and arguably a big part of the reason for our evolution. I mean, our brains' capacity to create is wholly unique. And especially with everything going on right now in the world and the tumult and the just, it's just that doom scrolling. I mean, that's like really what it is. I mean, it's needed to bring communities together and try to find a place of healing. And for a place like Northwest Connecticut, which is rural, which never recovered fully from the last recession, you know, this is a fabric that can bring all of us together and really push us forward as a region.
I agree wholeheartedly with you, Rufus. And your selection as the executive director of the Warner Theater came at a very auspicious time.
You can say that again.
when we first met you, and you had your first appearance on City Views, it was as the executive director for the Northwest Arts Council. And I think people recognized your significant input there, and definitely endorsed your appointment as the executive director to the Warner Theater. What experiences kind of laid the groundwork for you to make that transition so successfully?
I think it was just, I mean, the connections and the network and and the support I got from the community, and just getting to know the leaders in the community and the artists and the other organization leaders, and building a cohort around a shared ideal that not only is arts key for the economic future of Northwest Connecticut, but it was key for the cultural and general well-being of Northwest Connecticut. And that's really what sort of helped my transition. And the other part of it was that Steph Burr, who's now the executive director, and Maddie Stenson, who both worked for us, or both worked for the Arts Council with me, were just primed to be the new leaders. I mean, they've taken any little bit of thing that I'd started there and just ran straight through to the the goalpost and knocked it out of the park. I mean, that's a lot of sports metaphors I just mixed there. I mean, they really stepped up during COVID, and I'm so grateful for their leadership in the region and what they've done. And they get it, and I think that's exactly what we need. I look at all of the young people at the 5 Points Center for Visual Arts and their Launchpad. I look at people like the Boondocks Film Society, who are just doing things, and even people like Rana, just putting music onto the streets in Torrington, and just like, it's this generation that we know there's problems and we know there's issues, but we're not going to sit around and complain about it. We're just going to be like, hey, here's the solution. We're going to do it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but we tried.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's a component that's specifically associated with your generation, which I personally really appreciate, because it's easy to get bogged down and sedentary.
Yeah.
And I'm really, the people that you just mentioned, it really bodes well for our future, because when you have people that have that level of concern and are willing to put in that level of time and commitment to the projects and activities that they're participating in, nothing but good can come from that scenario. And it almost scares me to think where we would be right now if we weren't challenged with the coronavirus.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like, look, my generation, look, I watched 9/11 happen live on television.
Yeah.
And we were told, oh my God, this is a once in a lifetime event. And
Right.
then we got put into a war that's still going on.
Right.
I have friends that went overseas, got shot. Then we were told, go to college, you'll get a job, no problem. We all graduated, the economy tanks, once in a lifetime event. And then now we're living through just once in a lifetime superstorms. So it's like, we already know, but what gets us through all of this? Art, music, right. Movies, right. Community. And it's not, for us, I think our generation, it's not about we're going to make the most of our short time on earth. We're not going to try to amass, I mean, some of us, of course, there's always going to be people that try to amass wealth. But for a lot of us, and for me and all of these people that we've been talking about, and a lot of people in the community, Torrington's filled with people of all generations, not just mine, their purpose is giving back to the community. We want to make the place we live a better place. We want to help our neighbors. We want to help our community. It's not just about us. It's just about me. It's about all of us. It's about Jacque, let's work together on, whatever we need to do to make this place a place that I'm proud to be. I'm proud to tell my friends in New York, oh yeah, I moved back to Northwest Connecticut and I don't miss New York. I miss the food. I love Italian food, but can we please get some sort of other cuisine up here? But, I think that's the driving force of this, is that we recognize that there are a lot of issues in the world, and we don't want to just wallow in it. We want to fix them.
Yeah, Rufus, I would tend to agree that your generation has definitely faced some pretty serious challenges in your tenure. And it makes me a little, I'm a little disappointed with my generation, because I don't think that we have been progressive enough in terms of solidifying those aspects of our culture that are edifying to us. And when I was growing up, I mean, our culture was kind of built on music and arts and film, and those were the elements that I think pretty much brought down those walls of separation so that we could celebrate our culture in our communities. So yeah, I feel bad because, you know, it seems like every 10 years you guys are,
well, I mean, look, I'll have this conversation one day with some 30-year-old, you know, upstart in the region, and I'll be like, well, we didn't do enough, but your generation, you know, it's just the structure. I mean, look, your generation pioneer, look, hip hop is the biggest American export, cultural export around the world. And that was your generation that started that. You know, like, you guys did a lot of work. You guys laid a lot of groundwork for us to take the reins and keep going. Don't sell yourself short.
Well, put it like this. Let's just hope that we get things turned around so that we're not going to have another catastrophe looking at us 10 years from now.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think one of the ways that that is happening is through the collaborations and the innovation of the artist communities at the state level. And one thing that I'm really excited about that's going on here is the convergence of our commerce in terms of highlighting the arts community and the things that the arts are needing through the period of coronavirus. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you guys have been able to kind of regain your footing, in a sense, through the help of some of our state resources?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really just the advocacy. I mean, it was using our connections and to just say, look, this is important. The theater, performing arts have been decimated. It's the industry that's been hit the hardest, or one of the industries that's been hit the hardest, and we need help to survive, because this is, and we shifted it. You know, look, politicians, they understand economy and they understand voters, right? So it's like, okay, we shifted and said, look, this is infrastructure. We're talking about critical infrastructure. It's not arts funding. It's not so we can put on a show. This is about, the Warner generates $8.1 million for the state of Connecticut, and we support 122 full-time jobs. And that's just through our economic impact. And that's just one venue, you know. And then we said, if you don't do this, and we got all of the mayors together, and they, you know, Mayor Carbone was right there with us, with the governor, talking about the importance of the art to Torrington. And we got all of the council of governments, all of the regional council of governments to sign on to this and say the arts are critical for us to rebuild our regions. Because look, if the Warner died, Torrington would be decimated. Downtown Torrington would struggle for decades, because who is in their right mind is going to buy a theatrical building, a city block, the size of a city block? It's not going to happen. And that's what really got it. And then at a federal level, it was all of the people watching this. 2.1 million people emailed their representatives to say, hey, save our stages. This is important. This is important to me. And look, it was bipartisan. People listened. So if you actually get off your butts, call and email your senators, you can actually make a difference. And up here on the local level, you're talking about 25 emails is sometimes all it takes. Not even 2.1 million. So I think it was really the community's support rallying around the artists. It was the artists going and talking to the reps and calling the reps. It was the work of places like the Northwest Connecticut Arts Council, which was hammering our state and our state reps to say, look, our artists are suffering. They're out of work. They're out of jobs. They can't get access to unemployment help. We need support right now. And, it was just that combined effort to say, like, art doesn't magically happen. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of people working. You just released a whole album. That was not an easy effort for you to do that. That takes a lot of time and expense and personal effort. And, that's something that people need to recognize. It's like all of those TV shows that you binged during the coronavirus, all of the Tiger Kings and all of the Schitt's Creeks and all of whatever you watched on Netflix, that was an economic engine of epic proportions. And I think that I'm hoping that this has given people an insight into that.
Well, I think there still is that gap, Rufus, where people don't see the pertinent and relevant aspects of an artist's community, and especially in a town like Torrington, where it was traditionally a mill town, manufacturing town. So many people are like, we don't need art galleries, we don't need theaters.
I think that's I mean, look, and I don't mean this in disrespect, but Torrington is not a unique case. There's mill towns, depressed mill towns all over this country. And there's a lot of them that are thriving. And it's the ones that recognize that the future of this was manufacturing, but small manufacturing, was agri-tech, was green tech, was recruiting other types of new economy jobs into the region, and having a cohesive vision. And that includes art and culture to draw the companies there to keep their employees there. I travel extensively through this country. I go on a lot of road trips, and we travel through the South and through the Midwest all the time. And the towns that are doing well are the ones that have done this work and have a basis of art and culture. And Torrington has that. It's just, and this is not just Torrington, it's all of Connecticut. The mentality is Torrington's Torrington, Kent is Kent, Salisbury is Salisbury, Warren's Warren. And we have these silos, and you don't really understand what goes on in our town. Well, that's not true. Everybody understands. Like, it's not a mystery. It's a rural micropolitan area. We're not unique. It's happened all over, all over the country. And there's keys, there's frameworks, and there's things that we can do to push it together. And, honestly, get on board or get left behind, kind of. It's like we need a cohesive downtown. We need a cohesive plan. We need to all be working together, and that includes job creations, manufacturing plants. Because what do you think? Anybody that's going to build a factory downtown in Torrington, they're going to be recruiting employees. The only way they keep employees in Torrington is if there's good food, good beer, good music to go see on the weekends. Well, it's an ecosystem, and also too, it's social services. We need to make sure that we have the social services that support our community and support the people that are in need, because we live in one of the richest counties in the world and still have 10% food insecurity. And art can help that. Art and art organizations can help expose that in a meaningful way to teach empathy and to tell those help those people in need to tell those stories. And art can connect people to those things through music, through story, through painting, whatever, to start that healing process and support. And I think I like to tell everybody, like, Torrington's great. We have a great art community and we have a great social service community, and we should brag about that.
Absolutely, we should.
We serve the whole region. We are the county seat for Northwest Connecticut.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to touch on, Rufus, because I think that you understand the importance of community engagement. And you understand the fact that there's more resources in our community than we probably perceive. We just need to dig deep and wide to discover those resources and those assets and how to develop and cultivate them. One of the things that we participate in, Rufus, is the government relations meetings that the Chamber of Commerce holds every month. That the Joanne Ryan, the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, encourages even non-members to attend.
Yep.
Talk to our audience, Rufus, about how important that is, that people understand the relationship between our government and how our arts community connect.
Look, I can't even begin to say how easy it is to get a hold of state reps and government officials in this region. I've lived and worked in New York for over a decade. Those reps aren't getting out of bed for more than 10,000 emails about something. You know, you're not going to get. I have our state rep cell phone numbers in my cell phone. Like, you're never going to get the opportunity to make a direct impact. And the thing that just makes me so frustrated, and I'm sorry, but it's a lot of your generation and older, is people that say, well, they don't care, or they're not communicating with us, or whatever, both parties. I'm not picking sides here. It's just, oh, I don't know what's going on, and they're all in Hartford. I'm like, are you kidding me? Everyone has social media now. Everyone has an email newsletter. People have their phone numbers on their government websites. Pick up the phone and call them. They'll call you back. You know, like this, it's go to the Council of Governments meeting. You can sit in on those as a citizen and bring up something that's concerning you for the region, or go to your town meetings, or get off your butt and run for office. I ran, and I'm sitting on the Board of Finance for Kent. I said, hey, I want a young voice who's willing to make this place an affordable place for young families to live. And that was my mission, and the townspeople voted me in. And I'll give you a secret. It's not that hard. So it's like, it's people have to realize, not only do we live in a beautiful place, we have tons of resources, we have tons of organizations, we have more art and culture than you can throw a stick at up here. But yes, we have a ton of issues: transportation, food insecurity, terrible internet. I know you personally suffer from terrible internet.
Lord have mercy. Yeah.
And there's solutions. We have plans as a region to come together to do this. But the people that are listening to this have to push their local selectmen or mayors and townspeople to work together. And it's not just Kent. The things that affect Kent also affect Torrington. You know, it's not a huge region. It's not a huge state. I could drive to the other side of the state, and it's like taking the subway from Harlem to Brooklyn on a really slow day. It's not. I drive to New Haven to eat, or go to Hartford to see a show all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get out of the mentality that if you can't park in front of a place, it's too far. I don't mean to come off as aggressive here, but it's just, come on. Like, this is the mentality that we're facing. It's complacency. You can't be complacent. And there's always going to be people that just want to complain. And no matter what you put in front of them, they're going to complain about it. They're going to say, oh, well, you know, I tried to get a hold of Michelle Cook and she's not getting back to me. I'm like, Michelle Cook is one of the most easily accessible. She's out there handing out food to people in need right now. She comes on your show all the time to tell you what's going on in the region. You know, like it's BS. I'm sorry. Like, you're just complaining to complain, or get involved. Like, it's not hard. Serve on a town commission. Get involved with downtown economic development. Like, get involved. You complain about slow internet. Get involved with your municipal fiber movement. There's solutions out there, and again, art is a way to, you know, and local shows like this. And you know, I go on WZBG the first Thursday of every month. Local radio, local TV. This is the way that you get information, and it's our job as organizational leaders and as people that have access to come on your show and talk about issues to say, hey, there are these resources out there. And it's our job to educate ourselves and not wait for someone else to do it. We have to say, as a citizen of this region, and I believe in the future of this region, I am going to educate myself about the resources that affect the whole region, so that I can say, hey, do you know about the Food Hub program? Or do you know about like the municipal fiber program? Or, you know, like maybe you should call this person. So that's the biggest, if anything comes away from my interview with you today, man, that is my biggest piece of advice. Stop complaining, get off your butts, and get involved.
Which leads me to my next question, Rufus. What's your outlook for 2021?
Well, I was positive. And then, no, I think it's going to be a long 2021. We're not through this yet. Vaccinations are coming. They're people in need are getting them right now. It's going to happen. Businesses you still need to go support your local businesses. Stop ordering things on Amazon. Go support your local businesses. I try to do takeout once or twice a week, you know, from local businesses, just to support the restaurants. And we need to work together. I mean, that's the thing. And if we do that, we are going to set up the Northwest corner to be able to recover from this. If we don't work together, it's going to be exactly like the recession in the early 2000s, and it's going to take decades for us to get over it. I'm a naturally, you know me, I'm a naturally optimistic guy. I think we can make the changes. I'm already looking at things like the Arts Council's putting together a cultural day later this summer. We're going to be a big part of it at the Warner. I'm talking to the other arts organizations in Torrington regularly about how we can help each other recover after this. And I'm talking at a state level with the other major theaters to say, it's not about competing anymore. It's about how we're in this together. How can we help each other? How can we collaborate, and how can we cooperate? So pretty positive for me. And the Warner's going to still do things. Like, look, we're putting up a new one-act play every other Friday. Every 2 weeks, there's a new one-act play on our YouTube and Facebook page and our main website. We're having live staged readings in January. Is going to be bedtime stories. And then we're working on another one in February. We're working on something in March and April. And these are all going to be free for the public. We're not making revenue, but we believe that community engagement is crucial. People need this entertainment. They need to see that we're still alive, and we're going. And our education team has been offering free weekly workshops to all the students that were in our programs, because they go to different schools and they can't see each other. So we're offering a safe social space where they can be themselves and see their friends virtually, and it's all free. I mean, and we're lucky that our community stepped up for the Warner to support that. People underwrote all of this for you, the audience, to enjoy. And I think that's what makes this region special, and that's what gives me hope for 2021 and 2022, is that we help each other. We as many issues. Look, I have 2 neighbors, right? We don't see eye to eye politically at all, but we still help each other out. We've shoveled each other's driveway. We've watched out for each other's, like, that's what makes this whole region special. And I think, that's what gives me hope.
Well, Rufus, we have hope because we believe in your leadership, and we know that you're going to continue to do whatever you can to make sure that the Warner Theater is a vibrant as part of our community. And as long as our leadership continues to stress how very important it is that we all work together, then I think that bodes well for our future going forward. So, Rufus, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to the audience at City Views.
Anytime, man. You want me on? We'll chat about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I think our next conversation, we'll talk about your big head.
Yeah, sure. We can do a show of me trying on hats that don't fit.
That would be must-see TV. Rufus, thank you so much. We look forward to speaking to you again soon. And I personally look forward to catching you on our next government relations.
And thank you for all you do for the community, Jacque. Man, you're everywhere. You're one of the first people I met when I moved back up here. And I've seen you like at least once a week since.
Well, yeah, I'm like peanut butter, man. Once you can't get rid of me. Yeah, but it's going to be fun, Rufus, working with you in whatever capacity we find ourselves doing that in, because as I stated earlier in this interview, you just bring so much to the community in terms of intellect, energy, ideas, innovation. You got the full package, bro. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
All right. We'll see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Rufus de Rham, Executive Director of the Warner Theater, doing big things in the city of Torrington. You guys stay tuned. We got more good stuff coming at you right here from City Views. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel at cityviews-ct, or you can catch this interview on our website at cityviews-ct.com.